Drug overdose deaths in Kentucky have been on the rise since 2018. According to Kentucky's 2021 drug overdose report, more than 2,200 Kentuckians died from drug overdoses in 2021. That's a 14.5% increase compared with the year prior. Death certificate data from 2022 shows that drug overdose deaths in Kentucky are down by 5% from 2021.
5% is a very modest decrease, but it is also a breaking of a pattern and that we're not continuing to escalate. Is it the news we want to have? Absolutely.
Dana Quisenberry is an assistant professor and principal investigator at UK. She and her colleagues have been monitoring overdose trends for several years and sharing their findings with state and local stakeholders to inform their prevention interventions.
By itself, surveillance data doesn't tell us why we're seeing the changes. It tells us we're seeing changes. It is then up to investigators like us, our partners at the state and at the University of Kentucky, to start digging down and finding out why we're seeing these differences.
Quisenberry says figuring out what caused the decline in overdose deaths is the next step and could help those numbers continue to decline in years to come.
I think it's also hopeful for those families who have a loved one that are still active in their addiction, that they may not end up in this number next year if we continue to have the intervention and the prevention programming in place and continue to see its effect.
In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.